Welcome to the Upshot, Multi-World Disc Golf's podcast about the latest in the disc golf world. I'm Charlie Eisenhood, joined by Josh Mansfield on this Thursday, February 19th. We are just over 1 week away from the start of the 2026 disc golf season. Josh, finally, this long, cold winter is coming to a close. We made it.
We made it. It was a pretty warm winter. I played more disc golf than I've ever played over the winter.
It's been so horrible and cold on the East Coast this year.
We're getting a lot of snow right now, finally. But
I know.
No, it's been nice over here.
I really wish I was there to go skiing. It seems probably epic right now.
I'm sure.
Tahoe got like 5 or 6 feet in 3 days.
I believe it. Crazy. Northern Utah was getting 3 feet of snow. So
that's insane.
Yeah.
That's not a life that I know. Growing up in New Mexico and now living in the East Coast, like that's just not the powder reality.
Well, and of course this is, we're talking mountains, but I'll just never forget the time in Montana. It was October, and overnight we got I think it was 29 inches of snow.
Oh
and literally I went out to try and go to my car and couldn't open my car door because it was snowed in, and I'll just never forget it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. The reality is we get to just finally get back to some disc golf. I'm so excited.
We do have one more thing before disc golf though, Charlie.
What's that?
For all our subscribers, we've got trivia this Sunday.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Trivia
Sunday.
Okay, listen. I'm going to announce it right now.
Okay.
Going to drop a 20% off discount to sign up for an annual subscription. Code UPSHOT. Okay. It will be available from today until the end of February. So we'll give you a little extra time beyond the term. Well, yeah, I guess that's essentially through the start of the tournament. I'll make it March 1st, so you get through Sunday.
Okay.
Code UPSHOT, 20% off, and you can join us for the season and all of our rapid reacts. Get in the Discord. The Discord's already cracking right now. We're talking over-unders, which we're doing later in the show. And so, yes, that's the deal. So go to discgolf.ultiworld.com/subscribe. When you check out, use code UPSHOT, and you will save 20% on your annual membership. It means it's $40 for the season.
Yeah.
I promise it's worth it. And we're doing trivia, so tell the people about the trivia.
Trivia, we're going to have 5 rounds. Winner of each round is going to get 3 months of Upshot subscription for free.
We'll just tack it on.
Tack it on. And I have confirmed this is going to be Upshot Trivia presented by Pound, and the grand prize winner is going to get a custom Pound hat, courtesy of Pound Disc Golf. So, big shout out to the guys out there. It's Pound hat. Pound hat. Listen, if trivia starts hopping, maybe next year we're going to go.
We'll upgrade to the bag.
But a hat, those hats are sick. You get the removable patch. There's a whole bunch of different styles. Sick. They're a pretty sick hat. So, and here's the thing, it's free, right? You're just, all you're doing is joining. You're getting all the perks of being a subscriber, and we're just tacking on the trivia for fun. So
and we'll give a year sub to the outright winner too.
All right, there we go. Is that okay? Yeah, there we go. We've got some prizes over here, so
and it's going to be a lot of fun. Josh has been working on this. We are doing this at 10 a.m. Eastern time on Sunday, the 22nd.
Apologies to our West Coast
3
folks.
days from now.
Yep.
Yeah, but we have to find the balance for Europe and
we got to get our Europeans in,
and so it will be a little bit of an early start, for the West Coast. But we believe in you. You can do it.
7 a.m. is not that bad. You can power through.
Okay. Let's get into the show. Today, it's preview show. We're talking about the season. We're getting you ready for everything you need to know. We're making our major predictions. We're dropping our other predictions. We're picking our over-unders. It's all happening. And we're super, super excited. We're doing mailbag next Tuesday, so get your questions in, upshot@ultiworld.com, or hit us up in the Discord. And we will be tackling all of your preseason mail next Tuesday. And then we'll prep for Supreme Flight Open in a week. Okay, so let's dig into this. First things first, Josh, I want to throw up the season schedule again. All right, because a lot of people probably just kind of forgot, we talked about this a long time ago, what exactly is happening this season. For the most part, we have the same kind of contours to this season. We start in Florida, we move across the West Coast, we go to Europe, we come back, Midwest, Northeast, finishing in Charlotte area. Yep. However, Josh, there are some notable changes, including some new events. And I would say the most notable change is the structure of the US and European components of the tour are quite different this year compared to last year. And I think it's going to have a meaningful impact on competition and results. So take a look first here. This is the beginning of the tour. We've got what they're dubbing the Bayous to the Blue Ridge. We begin at the Supreme Flight Open in Florida. Then we will have a brand new event, back-to-back brand new events, I should say, in Big Easy Open in New Orleans, and then the Queen City Classic at Hornets Nest in Charlotte. So Hornets Nest back on tour as its own tour stop. Then we have the Champions Cup being played this year at New London Tech in Virginia. And then we go to the next swing of the tour, Birdies and Barbecue. We go to Arkansas. Jonesboro is back after a year away from the tour. Kansas City Wide Open next. It returns after, I think, a pretty good showing. Obviously, the weather was kind of a mess that last day, but overall, I think that course was well liked at Bad Rock Creek. And then we have 3 straight Pro Tour Plus events in a row.
I did not even notice that.
Yeah, I didn't notice this either until we looked at it today. Open at Austin, and then we go to the West Coast for OTB Open in California and Northwest Championship in Portland. What I think is interesting about that, Josh, is that it's a big incentive from both money and points for Europeans to come play this stretch of the tour before we go to Europe.
That's true. Yeah, I didn't even think about it that way. And to your point, Charlie, the West Coast swing is notoriously the worst represented part of the swing on the U.S. side. And so doubling up on these Pro Tour Plus events over on the West Coast as a means to keep people out there, especially because it goes Northwest Championship into Europe, which is just another reason. I don't think most people are going to skip Northwest Championship to get to Europe early. They've put in some adequate travel time for that, but it is an interesting note that I guess I just hadn't even realized. I will say, OTB Open, I really like it. Do a lot of great things. They are the only Pro Tour Plus event and the only 4-round event that is not a well, I guess obviously playoffs, but only Pro Tour Plus event that's not played at 2 courses.
That is an interesting note. I will also note there is an event on the Euro Tour that's not a Pro Tour event before the European Open. But that's basically it. Like, there's not necessarily a lot of reason to go over early.
Yeah, they're just A tiers this year. They don't even count for
Pro
Tour points in any way for the World Tour standing.
That means that we have this clean break from U.S. competition to European competition. European summer begins with the major at the European Disc Golf Festival. It's now the European Open, right? At the European Disc Golf, it's like,
I think that's
the tournament is called the European Open now.
Yeah,
so the graphic I have up is outdated from before they did the Europa Cup into European Open.
Yeah, it's the European Open, formerly Europa Cup, held at the European Disc Golf Festival.
It's giving Champions Cup vibes. Swedish Open follows that the following weekend, straight into the Ale Open, also in Sweden, just down the road. And then the Heinola Open in Finland at the end of that. That is MPO only. FPO is being given that weekend off. It will not count.
For points purposes.
Yeah. I think they'll have a competition, but there's no Pro Tour points being awarded because U.S. Women's is the following weekend in Salt Lake City. It's a trek. So that begins the U.S. swing, U.S. Women's, and then we have a plus event with Ledgestone, and then we go Discmania Challenge, Preserve, and then we hit Worlds.
Yeah.
So it's a late August Worlds this year, kind of making that end of the season stretch pretty important. We have a tournament the week after that at Idlewild, then a week off before we go to the playoffs for GMC, MVP Open at Maple Hill, USDGC Pro Tour Championship, the typical close to the season. Josh, I made a map. Take a look. Here's the U.S. map of tournaments, color-coded by swings. You will see that there's a couple there in Charlotte. What you can't really see is that there's actually two there in Virginia because we have the Tour Championship and Champions Cup there.
Yeah.
But one of the flags being hidden by the orange one. So there it is. What are your takes when you look at this map?
We have managed to stick an event in the middle of the great unknown that is the Mountain West. Finally.
I mean, not even the Mountain West, like the entire western half of the U.S. that's not the coast.
Right. Yes. Happy to see that back that in there and being represented. I think it's going to be a really great event, and I'm excited about that. I think the other thing that is interesting and that I'm very happy for is that we're not going to try and do a split tour thing this season with Europe and US. There are no events in the US that will count while everyone is in Europe.
Exactly.
Which is not the case last season.
No. And it impacted competition.
It does. And
we had multiple new winners in Europe with light fields.
Right. And the US with light fields.
Right.
And so I think this is just so much better, especially for FPO, because as long as there are European events available on the FPO side, some of the best, I mean, FPO right now really does feel like it's divided 3-3 between top US and top European players. You have Missy, Holland, and Own on the US side, and then you have Silva, Evelina, and Henna on the FPO, on the European side. Like, FPO is a worse division when those six are split up, and yeah. So I very much appreciate the incentive to get everyone over to Europe.
I think it's great to see this event pop up in New Orleans. Yep. I mean, not only is New Orleans just a great city to visit, and it seems like it's going to be a super fun event, and we get a brand new purpose-built course for the Pro Tour, designed by John Houck, who. This is hearsay, but via TD Jeff Spring, so it's not like I'm not making something up out of nowhere. John says that this course is going to be better than old WR Jackson.
Wow.
So perhaps we'll have John on the pod before Big Easy Open. He's come on before.
Yeah.
And we can talk about this course that existed before, but they poured money into this redesign to lengthen it for MPO, clean up the fairways, create some new holes, and just generally make spectator viewing a little bit easier. So, I mean, this is going to be a very interesting, like straight up swamp course. Like we are next to the swamp.
Yeah,
we are. You are going to be able to go stone's throw and see some gators. Hopefully, we don't have any gator sightings on the course.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I actually want to see gators on the course. I just don't want anybody to get hurt.
No jumping
Gators
in the water
chill,
for your
Gators
discs.
are chill. Gators don't really mess with you. It's the Crocs that are the problems.
That's right.
So you can see, I mean, like visually, if you live in St. Louis, you could just go to like 50 tournaments. Like it is a little, probably, in my opinion, over concentrated in that sort of upper Midwest. But we see good turnouts over there, and it is great for those folks. I think you can still see the conspicuous absence of tournaments in, for instance, Pennsylvania, where I think it would make a ton of sense to have a tournament.
Yeah.
I still think, Mountain West, it's just hard, right? There's just not really.
No.
It's hard to get there. It's hard to play there. Salt Lake's
one in
good,
Salt
right?
Lake. That's all I'm asking for. One in Salt Lake.
I think we need a tournament in like Phoenix, LA, Vegas area.
Hey, you stop. You take that back right now, Charlie.
Listen,
we worked so hard for years.
I know,
to get rid of the Vegas event.
but hang on. We could do better in Vegas, right?
Oh man,
in this area of the country, I feel like we need a tournament. It's a huge population center.
It is,
and having a tournament in Vegas is cool. I don't know that the infrastructure is there right now, but I would love to see them find a way to get to Vegas.
The other problem though is I much prefer the start that can be set up, because remember when you start,
you don't start over there. You play the tournament there on your way to the West Coast Swing.
So you're, I mean, I guess that's not.
I mean, have the pros go to Vegas already on that stretch, right?
Sure. Yeah. Because any later it's just too hot.
That's a good point.
Area. Right, and so you're really limited in terms of the time frame on the calendar of when you can put events over there. And so we used to start over there, and so we used to start
it'd be freezing cold.
Vegas into Waco, and then
like 7 events in Texas. It was so brutal. This is so much better.
It is so much better. And if that means we have to sacrifice like that chunk of the country, then so be it. I would continue to like one in Salt Lake every year.
Just one event in Texas this year. I think this is the first time ever.
I think so.
That we've had this few events in Texas.
Well, first time in since they added an event in addition to Waco.
There was a year where we had, I think, 4 tournaments in Texas.
We did.
It was like Waco, Texas State Championship, Open at Belton.
Yep.
Before it was in Austin,
and then U.S. Women's.
Oh right.
And
I don't know. It was just way too much.
The fourth. That was the year that we had U.S. Women's in Texas.
Oh my gosh, it was too much.
I thought my head was going to spin.
Anyway, overall, I really like the shape of the tour.
I do too.
I think there's like events available to attend for people who live in most of the major metros. And, if you live in Denver, you're going to have to travel. But
yeah,
so be it. Here's the European map, just quickly. We've got the 2 pretty close by in Sweden, and then Tallinn and one in Finland. No Norway feels like a kind of a miss, but I think 4 feels like about the right amount. And with the major coming first, I think we're going to see those tournaments heavily attended. Because there's nothing to go back to in the States. You're not missing anything in the States.
Exactly. Yeah.
So maybe we'll see more players skip this swing entirely than we did like a year ago when we had Worlds over here. But I think that regardless, even if some players sit it out, the average quality of the European Pro Tour events is going to be way higher this year.
I think so too. I'm excited about Europe again. I think it should be good. I agree. I'm disappointed that we don't have a Norway event. You know what I want now, Charlie, and I don't know anything about this country's disc golf scene. I just World Games is the only reason I'm even saying this. I want a Latvian event. Like we're already in, like Estonia down to Latvia, over to Sweden, over to Finland. Like again, I don't know anything about Latvian courses, but remember there was that FPO player from Latvia.
Can I let you know that the Riftif 2026 World Team Disc Golf Championship is being held in Lithuania?
Okay, all right.
You don't quite get what you want, but this World Team Disc Golf Championship has become like a real tournament now.
Yeah.
It's not quite like something that U.S. fans are going to tune in for, but the Europeans are taking it really seriously. Like a lot of the people outside of North America send their best. It's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Awesome. Great.
And I think that will only increase as we sort of build up to another World Games in 4 years.
I wish we could find a more like advertised world, like country-based competition. And we've talked about this in the past of what that would look like. And different styles that we could do, but I think that the country represented competition sets up well to encourage and incentivize people to go to things like the World Games. And it's just important for an international sport, I think, to have that kind of opportunity. So here's my plea.
Remember, the tour is now presented by Powerball. So get
Yes.
ready for a lot of Powerball. We're going to do a Powerball watch, too. I promise not to talk about it every week because they're not a sponsor or anything.
Yeah.
But when the purse gets high, I'm gonna let people know. It's trash right now, so don't worry about it.
When the purse, do you mean like
The jackpot.
the jackpot? Okay.
No, not the Pro Tour thing. I mean, they're doing that like Ace run.
Right.
I think it's $5,000 to start, and they add $1,000 every time it doesn't get hit. That's fun, but
It is fun.
who cares unless somebody wins it, right?
Sure. But I mean, I know we're going to hear a lot of Powerball, but having an entire tour sponsor is just such a big deal.
It's so cool.
It's so cool.
It's very cool. All right, Josh, let's talk about some of the key players to watch.
Okay.
And, we're not going to dumb it down too much here, but if you're just trying to get into the scene, trying to figure out what's going on with disc golf, you want to like become a fan, we're going to give you some of the basics. Let's begin with the obvious. Gannon Buhr is the world's best player. He is trying to become potentially the world's highest rated player ever. And he has dominated the tour the last 2 years. Maybe not quite as dominant in 2025 as he was in 2024, but still very obviously number one in the world. And there's just no signs that that's going to stop, Josh. I mean, I think I have a sense that he may end up having an even better season this year than he did the previous year.
That's kind of the sense that I have as well. He had a lot of podiums last season that didn't, and not as many of them converted into wins, but that's not the regularity for Gannon. And I'm anticipating him to kind of get a couple more of those. I think we're going to have the player of the year conversation wrapped up by end of Europe.
Wow. That is way too aggressive. There's no way that could be true. That's too many tournaments after that point for it to be done. Like that means you're calling for Gannon to win like 90% of the tournaments that start the season.
Okay. I'm not calling for Gannon to win 90%. But I think if Gannon wins 4 by the end of Europe, I think player of the year becomes a very difficult conversation unless somebody else is matching him.
Well, right. I mean, I get what you're saying, but it's no way it could be wrapped up.
Not 100%. Not 100%. But I bet by end of Heinola Open, I bet the odds are so bad. I mean, maybe the odds are so bad for you to start at the season. I bet the odds are so bad that you would not take another player no matter what odds you were given.
All right.
By end of Heinola. That's like the level I think.
All I'm going to say is that looking at your major picks that we're about to reveal, I don't see how you could be saying that.
I'm hedging my bets here, Charlie. My major picks are hedging the bets.
Okay. So Gannon Buhr, 6 wins last year. Second best had 3. He had 13 podiums last year. Second best had 5. I mean, just on another level. And that was a quote unquote down year, right?
That's the
down from 2024, where he was like suffocatingly dominant. He's the 5-tool player. He's got it all. He's one of the longest throwers on tour. He's ultra accurate. He's arguably the best overall putter, C1 C2 combo on tour. Like this is the shades of what we used to see from Macbeth. But Macbeth wasn't quite as dominant across all categories, in my opinion, as we've seen Gannon be.
Right.
Macbeth was like, his thing was always, he was like top 3 in everything.
Yep.
Gannon is like number 1 in everything.
Yeah. Well, and Macbeth, remember Macbeth had like beast mode Macbeth, right? The clutch factor.
That's something that he has that I still don't feel like I've quite seen from Gannon.
Agreed.
Ultra killer, there's no hope for anyone else. Like, here he comes.
Here's why, though. It's because Gannon has the physical talents that Macbeth didn't have in the same way.
Right.
Gannon doesn't need the killer instinct because everybody in like literally every player you talk to will say to you, "Oh, if Gannon plays his best, it doesn't matter what I do." When have you seen that in any sport? That the recognition of this player is so gifted and talented and excellent at the actual technical elements of the game that if he plays to his ceiling, nobody can touch him.
That Klæbo guy from Norway, the cross-country skier.
Oh, yeah.
He is him.
Is that the guy who...
he's got that crazy sprint uphill thing?
Yeah, did the sub 6 minute mile pace
No,
up the hill?
he's completely unstoppable. It's insane.
Yeah.
He's like one of the greatest Olympians of all time now.
That's right. He's the only behind Michael Phelps in gold
I think
medals.
he matched him.
Maybe. I thought I saw he was just behind him, but you might be right.
Joins Phelps as of yesterday.
Okay, I was looking 2 days ago.
As the only athletes to win 10 Olympic gold medals. Because he won the team sprint event with Norway.
I missed that. Really, really fast aside. Holy smokes! If you missed Olympic hockey yesterday, you missed out. 3 of the 4 quarterfinal games went to overtime.
I watched the U.S.
Including
Sweden
U.S. Sweden
overtime,
and then Canada and Finland all won in overtime.
Incredible.
It was great.
I might have to just lock in for these upcoming hockey matches.
You have to.
They play semis today.
Either today or tomorrow,
presumably. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
The U.S. got a lucky draw. U.S. gets to play Slovakia. Canada has to take Finland on, which is much harder.
I was kind of shocked Slovakia was in the semis, but maybe I don't know.
It's because okay, if we're being honest, it should be Sweden, but Sweden got the draw against the U.S. in quarters, and so that's why.
But isn't that because of how they played in pool play and stuff?
Correct, but you're looking at things like goal differentials and goals for as tiebreakers, and so the seeding broke in such a way that Slovakia got the easier matchup, and Sweden had to go against the U.S. to make that quarterfinals.
Got it.
So it really should be Sweden as the 4th team, if we're being honest.
It was a very competitive game yesterday.
It was.
Okay, let's keep it moving here. So Gannon Buhr, super, super good. Now, after that, I think you have a group of players in MPO who, if you listen to our draft show on Tuesday, kind of hard to differentiate. Calvin, Isaac, I should use full names. Calvin Heimberg, Isaac Robinson, Paul Macbeth, Ricky Wysocki, Anthony Barella. In that next tier, all very strong.
But
everybody except Ricky had wins last year. Sure, I mean Nicholas. I was going down. I was going down the list in Pro Tour standings.
You were. I think you need to bump Nicholas up
because
and
of the wins.
Cut your line.
I think that's very fair.
That's your tier, right? That is the next tier, and it's a crowded tier. Right?
It's a crowded tier.
It's a very crowded tier, and I would have a very difficult time differentiating some of those players out of that kind of big overpacked tier where those players, as you said, Ricky didn't have a win, but was second in one of the second tied for second in podiums behind Gannon. Nicholas had 3 wins. Calvin won a major, Isaac won a major. Just quality right behind Gannon that are all very equal and quite a ways behind Gannon.
Yeah. But I mean, it is possible. All of those guys have the talent to possibly challenge Gannon for Player of the Year. It's not like it's a foregone conclusion. I mean, some of these guys had 3 wins.
What do you put the odds of Gannon winning Player of the Year?
I mean, the odds are probably 65, 70% in my mind.
I think that's too low. Barring injury, I think you've got to say, I honestly feel like it's between 80 and 90.
I mean, if you give me Field to win Player of the Year at plus 800 or plus 900, I'm definitely considering that as a bet. Because, sure. Josh, remember, it depends on which criteria you're using for what establishes Player of the Year. Because there will be voter fatigue. If it's a toss-up, Gannon won't win.
That's true. I'm thinking of just who's the best player of the season, and not the Player of the Year as it is structured, and that's fair. That's fair.
So that's the collection of players to kind of keep an eye on. You've got some other guys who are getting wins. As Robinson won twice last year, Adam Hammis, a player who didn't win last year but has won in the past. Kyle Klein played really strong. I mean, 7th in the Pro Tour standings without a win tells you kind of where his level was. He was up near the top a lot.
Yeah.
And so that rounds out your 2025 top 10. Are there players outside the top 10 from last season that you think could push into that top 10, and who would they be?
Oh, man. That is such a nasty group to try and break into. Depending on how the drops go, like Gossage benefits from the drops because his volatility isn't punished as bad. But otherwise, like, no, Gossage is the only one I think could. Yeah, that's my one. That's the only one.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, Sullivan Tipton is somebody people thinking could have a breakout year. I mean, Ezra Aderhold got a win last season. He was at 11. Could you see an Andrew Marweed or a Cole Redalin make a push higher? It's definitely possible. Gonna be interesting to see if somebody has that breakout year. On the FPO side, Josh, what stands out as kind of the primary storyline?
Well, it used to be. I mean, it used to be the same story on as was on MPO, right? You had a top player who was miles ahead of everybody else, and then a pretty densely packed field behind her. With Kristen Lutz's retirement, that drastically changes. I mean, you really do have the crowded field, not quite as large as MPO, but the crowded field right behind Holland Hanley, Missy Gannon, Silva Saarinen being the top 3. Can't disrespect the dog, who also had a couple of wins, including Worlds.
That's Owen Scoggins for that was not in the know.
I kind of forget.
I understand. No, I'm just trying to make this show a little accessible for newbies.
It's a great point. For reference, Owen Scoggins, is like goes every year and plays one age protected championship, like major, wins it handedly, and then continues to compete as a 40-plus-year-old on the tour with everyone else, and was able to win the Pro Tour championship, or the World Championships, above 40 years old as an age-protected eligible player. She's a dog. She's just got that dog in her. But Holland, Missy, and Silva are really the 3 that are looking to establish themselves as the new number 1, and I don't think there's a clear answer as to who it's going to be. Holland had kind of a weird rocky middle section, but otherwise started incredibly strong, not missing the top 5 for months, and then had a really strong finish. She had the most wins at 5. Missy and Silva had 4 behind her. Missy is just big money. Missy is always going to show up when the lights are the brightest, and that's going to keep her in contention, even if she doesn't have quite as many wins as the other players. It'd be interesting to see if Missy, because remember, Missy's been one of those that's always been second fiddle, right? It used to be to Paige, and then Paige had the injury. Kristen Lott steps up, and then Missy's still second best. And it's going to be interesting to see if does that continue to Holland or Silva, or does Missy actually get to break out and be world number 1? And then Silva, the youngest of the 3 by quite a ways, is continuing to just improve. Going to be interesting to see if she's able to take that mantle.
The growth trajectory for Silva has been steeper than for the other players.
Yes.
Holland has, I think Holland has every year still improved her Pro Tour standing until this past year she was first. And
can't do it again.
Obviously that's she's reached the top of the mountain. But I would say her, the trajectory of her climb slowed a little bit this last year or two. Silva has still been kind of on the upswing more steeply, but from a lower base, obviously. Right. Missy's kind of been who she's been, but what Missy has done is win the bigger ones that are going to define her legacy more.
Oh yeah.
Like from an actual competition and level of play perspective, it feels like she's kind of been about at the same level for 2-3 years. But when you win the major, that changes how people talk about you. For her at this point, it's like a Worlds. Can she win a Worlds?
That's it. I mean, she really does have it locked down pretty good. So I would be interested to see if Missy can have a season where she's just like clearly the number one player.
I mean, I think that's the big story in FPO is somebody separate this year.
Yes. Yeah.
Because even though Holland won Player of the Year, and I think we both agreed she should win Player of the Year, it was not an obvious choice.
No.
It was like we were deep in the weeds and kind of like hunting for the answer because all of those players had a very strong season. Of course, Kristen Latt leaving the tour, that's also just a massive storyline. I mean, she framed everything else in FPO for the last 3 years. I mean, what's crazy is that it wasn't that long of a run where she was like the whole story.
Yeah. Yeah.
She was relevant in 22 and then like all we talked about in 23, 24, 25.
Yep.
And now gone from the tour. So that's a crazy twist. And I think the big question for me is will anybody else be able to even rival those players near the top? Your Ella Hansons, your Paige Pierces, who used to be the dominant world number one.
Has very clearly been like is peaking again after an injury.
Yes.
Great there. Val Mondahano had stretches where we really thought she was part of that group. Also coming back off of an injury. Evelina 2 years ago won 2 majors. Like it's interesting. The group behind it's not as obvious who breaks into that group to me. But I think there are some good candidates to do so.
Going to be really interesting. And then you've got these young up and coming players. The Europeans are kind of a question mark because many of them are not going to play that much in the U.S., at least at the beginning of the season. So we may not really be talking about them, but then we're going to get to the European swing and it's going to be like, oh, here's all these crazy, strong teenagers starting to play more now. And we'll see how many players decide to come over and play Champions Cup at least. That will start the tour for a number of European players on both MPO and FPO sides.
Yeah. For reference, when I was at Worlds, I asked Ida Letamaki, I was like, I mean, with this success, are you going to play more next year? And she's like, I have school, man. Like, no, I can't just like leave school in order to come over to the US and compete more. It's tough when these young European stars are like 15, 13, like truly still in like middle school age children. So we're not talking about like trying to do a hybrid senior year. We're talking about like the entirety of their education as young kids. So it's too bad that we are gonna have to wait to see them up full time.
All right, let's talk majors, and then we'll take a break. We have 5 majors this year, 4 for MPO, and technically 4 for FPO, but on this podcast we consider Throw Pink a major, so it's really 5 for FPO. Throw Pink has competed alongside the US DGC, the United States Championship for the men's, in Rock Hill at the end of the season. So the majors this year: Champions Cup, European Open, the US Women's Disc Golf Championship, the World Championships, and US DGC / Throw Pink. Champions Cup is in New London Tech, Virginia this year, the wooded track that played host to the World Championships in 2024. European Open will be in Estonia at the disc golf, what is it? European Disc Golf Festival?
It's the yeah.
It was a major last year. It's a major again this year. Slightly different name. U.S. Women's will be in Salt Lake City. Worlds will be in Michigan at the toboggan course alongside a second course, a wooded track. So we will see the players descend there in late August, and then US DGC and Throw Pink in Rock Hill, as it always is. So, Josh, let's start at the beginning. Champions Cup. Who do you think's winning this thing? Let's make some obviously way too early predictions for the winners of the majors this year. Cup, New London Tech.
Champ Cup, New London Tech. Well, first and foremost, gotta give me the man who won his world championship on these courses. Isaac Robinson is both an excellent wooded player. He's also excellent at the majors, having won 3 majors 3 years in a row, 4 majors in the past 3 years. and also plays well at the early season. I mean, he's won Champions Cup twice, and so like this major's got his name written all over it. The combination of the course and the tournament itself really, I think, gives Isaac a almost, I mean, not quite favorite status as long as Gannon Buhr is in the field, but the closest thing to his favorite status that anybody else is going to get all season long, I think, is really where I see Isaac for this tournament. On the FPO side, I'm just expecting Big Money Missy to play well here. She has not been historically great at these courses. I don't know what it is, but I'm expecting Missy to come out with a strong start to the season, which is in contrast how it's usually been. But I think this is the opportunity for Missy to really set herself apart at the beginning of the season as like actually contending for top player in the world.
Well, I'm right there with you with Isaac Robinson. At the end of the day, he has been really sharp at this course over the last 3 years or however long we've been playing at New London Tech. And there's something about that particular tournament and playing at majors that seems to bring out the best in Isaac's game. I mean, just truly one of the great putter throwers on tour. Mm-hmm. He's super controlled in the woods. And I mean, the proof's in the pudding. Like, he has won this event multiple times on different courses. And I think, I don't know if he's quite the favorite on paper, but given the performance that he's had in the woods on these 4-round wooded majors, like, you got to consider him. Although he also was able to win on a non-wooded Champions Cup layout. So there's something about the majors that seems to bring out the best in him. I have Silva Saarinen winning on the FPO side. It'll be second major win for Silva if she gets it. She's been rock solid, just as a player overall. Great woods player, and has played great at New London Tech. She played really, really well here last year. I think she was the best player over the 2 rounds they played during the Pro Tour Championship by strokes. So that combined together, the only concern I have about Silva, this is the start of her tour.
That's what I'm worried about too.
So that's a little bit, I'm like a little concerned about that, but you have to figure she's going to be prepping and being, trying to be ready to go. So I'm not worried about like rust necessarily, as long as she puts in the prep time, which I think she will.
Yeah. Great. Then we jump over the pond for our next major, European Open. Last year's winners, Calvin Heimberg and Silva Saarinen, both in nail biters, really. Charlie, who do you have?
Well, I've got Silva again. I've got Silva going back-to-back at this tournament and back-to-back to start the season in the majors. So super strong start predicted for Silva. On the MPO side, Josh, you're going to love this. Ricky Wysocki to take down a major for the first time in what now, 8 years, 9 years?
This will be 9 years this year.
Wow. But he has showed some real skill on this course. He shot that incredible round here when it was a Pro Tour event 2 years ago, I think. Mm-hmm. And so I think Ricky's gonna finally get over the hump and get another major and earn me a delicious dinner.
I think I see a bead of sweat developing on that brow there, Charlie, with this Ricky pick over there. Listen, he does play great at this course, but unfortunately, when there's an M next to the tournament, it just doesn't happen for him right now. So I agree with you on the Silva pick. Silva's just got a lot of things going for her at this course. And I want to frame this carefully. Distance is not a limitation of Silva's, but it is also not a strength. And this course does not reward distance for players like Evelina in the same way that other courses do. And I think that is another big benefit that Silva is going to get, and a reason why she performed so well here last year. Really rewards that technicality and that Silva has. On the MPO side, though, got Paul Macbeth. to for the record here. I just really think, I mean, he was excellent here last year, and it wasn't until Gannon and Calvin really separated themselves that Paul Macbeth, and it was pretty early in the final round, but Paul was there, and I really think that he's got a chance. This is another case of like it doesn't require, I mean, listen, Paul's no slouch in the distance category, but he's also not throwing as far as Gannon, and he's not throwing as far as AB, and he's not throwing as far as Calvin. And so a course that is one of the shortest tracks on tour that we're going to play, I think is the best chance for Paul to get his major win.
I mean, he shot 1070 plus both times in Estonia.
Yeah.
He was second in 24 and fourth in the major last year. So it is definitely not outlandish. I like the picks. I love the picks. I love my Paul Macbeth on my fantasy team getting a major win early in the season. Next up is U.S. Women's. Josh, who do you think's taking it down in Salt Lake?
You know, this
you're going to be there, right, for the final.
I'm going to be.
rounds.
I'm going to be there for the final day. Yeah, final day. I'm going to be there, and I'm taking Missy Gannon here. Missy has the all around game and consistency that I think is going to be important, because these are going to be courses that we don't play any other time during the season. We don't play mountain golf. It just doesn't happen. And so if you're moving somewhere where, you know, if I had a player that I think is just like an excellent top tier mountain golfer, off the top of my head, maybe they would get the nod. But barring that, I want the player who I think is the most consistent and reliable, and really just kind of has her game figured out. And to me, that's Missy Gannon. And so I think Missy's going to be able to take advantage of the fact that this is a course that people aren't used to, and the consistency of her game is going to shine.
Yeah, it's so hard to predict with a completely brand new course.
With a style that we don't even play.
Right.
Ever. Yeah, very difficult.
I'm going to go Holland Handley.
Okay.
Hard to give you like clear rationale. I feel like there's not an obvious player at the top who like is super experienced in playing high altitude disc golf.
Right.
But I think that Holland's game is well suited to handling like increased stability of discs. You know, for instance, somebody like Silva, I'm like way less confident in because she throws flippy stuff, and you better figure out how to throw it because it doesn't fly the same.
It is not going to flip like she's used
and it's
to.
like, okay, Holland could be like, okay, I just got to hammer like
right.
slightly more flippy discs, and it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
So I think this one is probably the hardest event of the year to handicap at this time, just because I don't know anything about this course.
Mm-hmm.
I know nothing. Have you played this course?
I've not played Brighton. I've played Solitude, which is just across canyon.
I mean, they're all kind of the same, right?
That's right.
Giant
exactly.
Downhill shot, par 3. Like,
yep. Uphill shots that just make you like cry. You're like 300
so
feet,
steep.
but it feels like you're going up 300 feet as well. Terrible.
It's hard. It's hard because you're throwing nose up, and you're dealing with the mountain air.
Here's let me offer. There's one player who I think we're probably not giving enough respect to based on some history.
Okay. Dog?
Scoggins.
Dog.
The dog.
Yes.
The dog.
You remember the match play.
Match play in Colorado. Bit of a shorter event, but she's also won at Toboggan, which is another physically grueling course. The dog could do it here.
And listen,
like
stability, not a problem.
That's right. She throws just stable anyway.
Slam the most. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Like, yeah, especially when you're not expecting discs to fly the way they do normally. Depending on the putter, might be a big deal. And own like of all the events, this is one I think Own is most likely to win.
It's a good call. I actually really like the call. All right, we move on to Worlds. I'll go first here. We're in Michigan.
Yep.
We have a course that will be new to tour, and of course we know Toboggan. We also have a 5-round event. Give me the players who have proven they can win in these big spots. I have a former Worlds winner and a new winner at the World Championships.
Okay.
I've got Gannon Burr taking it down in MPO. Enough said, right? This is the world's best player. Giving him an extra round only increases his advantage.
Over the world's hump.
Yes. I think this is just he is the best all-around player, and this is the tournament that most tests your all-around skills, both because of the length of the tournament and the varied course styles. So give me Gannon. I'm going Gannon. I'm taking Missy Gannon in FPO.
The World Cup team.
The World Cup team. The World Games gold medalists.
World Games. Yeah.
To both win, and this will be Missy's first Worlds if she wins it. After what has to be considered a massive disappointment last year when she blew up on hole 16 at the Beast and never gave herself a chance to win. So I think, she's going to be out for mega revenge at Worlds, and look, it's going to be a nasty battle to try to win that tournament. But
yeah,
I think she has the combo skill set like Gannon Burr to do extremely well, and she's been so close. I mean, when she lost to Kristen at Vermont at Worlds, like she hardly could have played much better. It's just Kristen was on another level, right. And now there's no Kristen.
Yeah,
and I feel like Missy has shown
no
us,
hole 16 at the Beast.
Right, the Missy has shown us over multiple seasons that when the level gets the highest, that she's there to show up.
Absolutely true. I also am taking Gannon Burr. There's no 5 rounds, the cream rises to the top every time. I also think, though, that the other part of it, assuming she can deal with some of the mental game issues that have come up, like the capacity to score comes from a like some of the best physical talents as well. I think Holland Hanley gets her first world championship here in Michigan. Holland is only getting better, and these courses, I just suspect, obviously don't know about the other new tour course as much, but Toboggan is a course that really does demand the most out of people, and Holland's game just, to me, rises to the challenge of the courses in a way like a lot of other players don't at times. If she can keep the head game together, I think Holland could blow Worlds out of the water this year. So give me Gannon and Holland for the wins.
It's so interesting. You think about the winners recently at the World Championships: Owen Scoggins, Evelina Salonen, back-to-back years of Kristen, and then Katrina Allen back in 2021 when the Europeans basically weren't there for the most part,
right.
Just coming back out of COVID. So, we haven't had a Holland win. We haven't had a Missy win. We haven't had a Silva win. And these have been the defining players outside of Kristen of the last 2 years. And shout out to Owen Scoggins for finding a way last year. I mean, incredible. But this is going to be a really different scenario, I think, this year. There's not those I don't expect to see those same ultra blow up holes that killed multiple players. I mean, Ida Letomaki should have won the championship.
Oh yeah,
she was up 10 plus strokes.
Ida Letomaki almost didn't need to show up for the final day to win the World Championship.
Crazy.
Owen is a winner at Toboggan.
That's true. I'm not going to count out the dog. Never doubt the dog.
Could the dog back-to-back Worlds?
Dude,
could you imagine?
If she goes back-to-back Worlds, I mean, she's already a Hall of Famer, but just stop the count. Put her in the Hall right now. She already has been enshrined in the Owen Scoggins Dog of the Day award, in the name of the thing. She can't win it because she's the namesake. Put her in the Hall.
Put her in the Hall.
Dude, unbelievable. That would be crazy. It's not outlandish.
She gets in as a first ballot Hall of Famer while being an active player after Macbeth didn't.
Can you imagine how mad Paul would be? They make an exception for the dog. Okay. Last one, USDGC throw pink. Josh, who you taking?
Give me Gannon Burr to have another just dominant season. I'm putting him down to win 2 majors, and notably the 2 most important majors. Gannon, USDGC was Gannon's first win on tour, and I think that he's gonna be coming home and getting another one this season. Here's my spicy pick. All right, I think everything else has been pretty, I wouldn't say chalk, but okay, yeah, that makes sense. I want Val Mondahano to win throw pink.
Whoa.
Okay. Remember,
get revenge on this course.
Revenge. It was only a couple of years ago that Val was in contention, and then had the just horrible hole 17 that ended her tournament, but was right there in contention to win this event. Val's coming back off of, and very much has recovered and had a great finish to her season last year, plays well at the end of the season. I think that Val Mondahano is going to, of all the players who I think have the likelihood of breaking back in, or like breaking into that top 5, like who's going to be the 5th best player this year, or in that top 5 group, I think Val could actually come out and just like be like, how dare you forget about me? And I think she does that with a throw pink win.
Did you pick Val Mondahano for your fantasy team?
I didn't. I wanted to, but Dan stole her from me the pick before.
That's right. Okay.
No, this is not just me like glazing my fantasy team. No.
All right. For me, I am going to glaze my fantasy team on this one. I've got Silva Sarnen to win her 3rd major of the season.
Holy smokes, Charlie.
Look.
Okay, let's settle down.
Come on, hang on a second. I knew you were going to start saying some nonsense like this. She was right there and arguably should have won this tournament a year ago.
Okay.
Did she make some terrible shots down the stretch? Yes, she did. But I think these are learning opportunities for Silva, and we have seen her get better with this kind of thing over time. So I feel like Silva is equally likely to any of the other players to win this one. I've got her having a big season, and you'll see with my prediction that it all lines up later after the break. Calvin Heimberg is going to win his first U.S. championship.
Oh, okay. You think he's gotten over the major hump? He's out of the shed? It's another one now.
Out of the shed. He's already out of the shed. So now he's just going to start adding to his legacy.
Okay.
And so I've got Calvin Silva taking down Rock Hill.
The repeat winners from European Disc Golf Festival last season.
That's right.
Yeah.
So Josh has 2 Gannon wins, and then 2 Missy wins, a Silva win, a Holland win, and a Val Mondahano win. And then Macbeth and Isaac Robinson to each win 1. I've got Isaac Robinson, Ricky, Gannon, and Calvin winning in MPO, and then 3 wins for Silva Sarnen, 1 for Missy, and 1 for Holland in FPO. With that, we're going to take a break. We come back with our predictions and our over-under picks for the 2026 season. Stay with us. The Upshot is presented by Pound Disc Golf, makers of the best bags in the sport. Well, right now, they've got the new stock Rufus colorway in Coyote and Sage, finished and ready to ship. It's just an absolute beauty. You might lose this bag if you don't put it in the right place. It just blends in with the desert environment so well. We've also got a Navy and Sage Rufus shipping now. Absolutely beautiful bags, the perfect size. It's the one I carry. Go to pounddiscgolf.com to get your own. Welcome back to The Upshot. Time for some predictions for 2026. Josh, I'll kick us off because I've already kind of laid this out without explicitly saying it. My prediction, even if my picks are wrong, is that we will have 4 different MPO major winners in 2026. No repeats.
No repeats.
I think the level of play has risen a ton, and it is hard, even for a player as good as Gannon Burr, to find multiple major wins.
It's true. It is hard. If I mean, we'll get to over-unders, but in the context of this question, I would agree that like if given 1.5, the under probably makes the most sense for Gannon. At half a major win, do you give Gannon the over?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think so too.
Easy.
I think so too. Yeah.
I mean, I think you have to think about it at 1.5. I don't think you have to think about it at a half.
I think 1.5 is not obvious. If there were 5 majors, I think 1.5 even becomes like lock me down for that.
Mm-hmm.
But at 4 majors, I don't just like that's difficult. That's a difficult task. So I think that you probably have I like the prediction. I think it's a good prediction. Not like guaranteed, but also like makes a lot of sense.
What do you got?
Well, I am going to give a nod to Gannon Buhr here. Not one attached to majors, but instead, I think Gannon Buhr is going to break the all-time PDGA rating. He tied Macbeth's rating last year. Was not able to get over it.
He's on the precipice.
Yeah, he's 3 points off right now from what the record is. I mean, Gannon's what, 20? Like, will be 21 this season. Gannon is going to keep getting better. If you think we've seen the best of Gannon Buhr, then I think you are dead wrong. And maybe it won't be this season. But Gannon will not be done with his career without having broken this record.
He averaged 1061 at the Memorial.
Okay.
That's not quite good enough.
But it is higher than his current rating, so bumping it up. So we'll see. I mean, it's a tall task. It's a tall task, but Gannon will keep getting better. I think he breaks the PDGA rating this year.
I think Silva Saarinen will ascend to number 1 in the world.
As noted by your 3 major predictions.
Yes, I'm going heavy on Silva, who happens to be on my fantasy team. But yeah, no, I think she has just shown this constant improvement and like plugging holes in the game, and like just the ascent has been so swift. I think that, I certainly don't think it's a foregone conclusion, because Holland could come out and do what she did last year and maintain some more consistency, and like we don't even have a conversation, like it's clearly Holland. But I think it's gonna be Silva.
I like it. Here's one for you, Charlie. And I almost didn't even say 1. I almost said 0. I'll tell you why I couldn't do it in just a minute. Last season, there were 4 first-time winners across both divisions: Ezra Robinson, Ezra Aderhold, Ben Calloway, and Cadence Burge. 3 of those wins came during the split parts of the tour when there were not entire fields in either Europe or the US. That is Ezra Aderhold's win, Ben Calloway's win, and Cadence Burge's win. I think this season you will have 1 first-time winner combined across both divisions.
Whoa.
And if there wasn't a man by the name of Goose, I probably would have said 0. I don't know. I don't know if I can quite commit to that. I think like we have some dominant players and a deep field of dominant players. It's not Kristen and then everybody else, right? It is 4 or 5 players in FPO. It is we have the 1, but then you have 6 players that we put in the next tier behind Gannon. There's just too much talent at the top right now, and especially where we see the number of touring players thinning with the changing like landscape of the sponsorship market. I think there are less players than before to kind of sneak up and grab that win. I'm going to take 1 first-time winner across both divisions.
That's a bold take. There were 4 this past year.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say some of the most obvious candidates got their wins.
Yes, that's the other part of it.
If you look at the ranking, so you're basically saying, okay, Sullivan Tipton, Aaron Gossage, Andrew Marweed, Evan Smith, Gavin Babcock, like those are the top ranked players from last year. I think you could reach down a little further into some of the up and comers like Luke Taylor.
Sure.
Like Paul Kranz, like Austin Turner. Has Mauri Villman won a pro tour? I can't remember if he's only won like Euro events.
I know, I can't remember.
Like,
it got so muddy what was and wasn't a pro tour for a couple of years over in Europe.
I mean, he literally won one last year. He won Konopiste.
It's so
I know, it's hard to remember. So he's actually already won one, so count him out. And there's just not as many players in MPO who like look like potential first-time winners. Now, there's enough that I think one of those guys probably going to get a win.
That's why I need one.
But let's look at FPO. Players that could get their first win: Hannah Wynn, Rebecca Cox, Hannah Blomroos, shockingly.
I know.
I think Jessica Gerthy has... Did Did she win an NT way back?
I feel like she has.
I feel like she probably has too. So that's kind of maybe Sophia Dunica would be somebody who could come up and get a
Fours,
win. Then of course the
Emily Ness,
youngsters,
right?
Yes,
yeah,
of course. So I don't know. It's one feels aggressive to me, but I think I could take the under on 4.
Oh, yeah. Like
I think
one.
I'll just. This is not one of my official predictions, but I'll just throw in mine. I'm going to say that it's going to be 3.
Oh, see, and at 2.5, I'd be thrilled with the under.
Understandably,
Yeah.
maybe we'll have that as a specific. I mean, I guess we already
I agree.
made
One
picks.
feels aggressive. 2 is what feels.
So
right
if it's 1.5, then I get the over.
Yeah.
Okay. Next for me, dovetailing off of what we just said, a teenager who has not won a tournament before will win an Elite Series this year.
Do you want to pick one or just
Nope?
You have someone you think is nope?
I'm
nope.
giving myself some room here.
Okay. Teenager. Oh, that's tough.
Somebody's going to come out of nowhere, Josh.
Okay. All right. Okay. I like it. Here's my last one. I really was thinking a lot about like what the prediction should be here. The Estonia spectator count, European Open, will be higher than the Michigan Worlds this year. Last year, Estonia did almost like 8,000, I think, just over 8,000, if I'm recalling correctly. Would have been the highest attended event or highest attended round until finals day at Worlds happened, also in Europe. I didn't make this my prediction. I think there's a chance that Estonia could break the 10,000 mark. Now,
Whoa.
like, given that they're not splitting with another major in Europe, because if you're a European and you're like, oh, I'm going to take the time off to go to a week-long major, you're probably picking Worlds in Finland, right? Now, it's maybe someone to both. Maybe some came for just final round in Estonia. But with only one major, and given the work that Estonia does for spectators, Estonia, for their first event ever as a major, I guess it was their second event in Estonia, first major ever in Estonia, and they break the record, which was then subsequently broken. You tell me with a back-to-back year of majors when they're not competing with Finland, that they couldn't pull something similar? I really think that they could hit the 10,000 mark.
That's aggressive.
It's aggressive. That's why I'm backing off a little bit. I just think that it will be the best attended event of the year.
So he's going to outdraw Michigan Worlds.
Yes. Yeah, I think so. Just set up for
right.
it. Set up for it in a way that no tournament in the country is.
I just feel like maybe there will not be quite as much enthusiasm this year for that tournament.
I'm worried without Kristen playing.
Right.
That might be true. But
it's still a major in Europe.
It's still a major in Europe. And I think that you need Kristen for the draw for the first year. I would be very surprised if every spectator who was there didn't go, oh, dang, I want to go back to that this year. Like, as a spectator, I don't know how you think that like, you'd be like, oh, yeah, this year I don't want to be there. So,
yeah. It's going to be interesting to see like where the fans show up this year.
Well, and especially with Estonia having their long-term contract.
Right.
I think this is going to be a very telling year for what that is going to look like. For that
completely
decision
agree.
by the PGA. Yeah.
Okay. Let's get to some over-unders. We're going to rapid fire these, Josh.
Let's hit them. All of these coming from the Discord, by the way.
Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to read the over-under category.
Okay.
You will set the line. I will make the pick, and then we will switch for the next one.
Deal. Okay.
Combined Paul Pierce. There is a Paul Pierce, not involved in our sport. Paul Macbeth, Paige Pierce, and Ricky Wysocki wins on Elite Series tournaments this year and majors.
It's gotta be at least. I'm gonna say 4.5.
Whoa! I will take the under.
Yeah, where do you take 3.5?
I still take the under.
Really?
We can make it 3.5. I'll take the under.
All right, deal.
4.5 is too high.
Okay, I'm thrilled with the over on 3.5.
Last year, what was the count? 2?
I thought Paul had 2 wins. Am I wrong about that? Did Paul only have 1?
I don't remember. I'm going to be honest with you.
Paul had 2 wins. It was 3 last year. It was 3 last year with Ricky getting no wins.
But Ricky still played really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Paul, you're freak out at that line. I was like, am I crazy? No, I'm not crazy. You're crazy, Charlie.
Listen, I should be rooting for this, but I am going to take the under.
At 3.5 or 4.5?
3.5. Well,
all right. I'll give you 4.5. I'm going to let you have the 4.5. I'm confident. I really think like Paul and Paige are getting better. And Ricky had an off.
I want you to be right.
I mean,
Paul
fair.
and Paige are
I'm
on
sure
my squad. Okay, I'll take the under on 4.5. Okay, Josh, what's next?
Next one. Number of tournaments that increase their purse this season.
How many tournaments do we have? Do we have a count?
20-ish. Somewhere around 20.
Increase. So same as doesn't count.
Right. Same does not count.
I'm going to say 18.5.
22 events, it looks like.
Okay, hang on then. Is it actually 22? Because I need a specific count.
Okay, 4, 7, 9, 13. That's 6, 19, 23.
23?
Yeah.
This is just Elite Series and Majors?
Yeah.
Seems like
and Pro Tour and the Powerball Cup.
And the Powerball Cup.
Yeah.
21.5.
How are you treating tournaments that weren't on the tour the season before?
Impossible to deal with them. I think we have to take those out. Basically, Josh, let's make it simple. The line is 1.5 below the actual number. Or was it? Wait.
Okay. You know what, Charlotte? Here's what, I'll make it easy for you. I'll make it easy. I don't care what you do. I want the over. I think every tournament is going to go up this year.
Okay.
That's what I think is the case.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I think every tournament is going to increase their purse this season. So whatever number you set, I will take the over. I think we're seeing the kind like I don't know. I think parts of the disc golf industry are going back up, and I think this is going to be one of them, especially with the Powerball Cup being involved.
FPO wins from players sponsored by Discraft.
How many did we have last season? So Holland had 5, Missy had 4, Val Mondano had 1, Paige had 1. So that's 11. Am I missing anybody? I think that's everybody.
That's a
lot of wins. Holy smokes. 9.5.
Great line.
Thanks.
Under
9.5. Wow.
Not by much, but I'm going to go under. I think it might be like 9 exactly.
Okay. All right. 9.
You're tracking our picks, right?
Yep. I'm putting them in. So
it's really hard, but I'm banking on a big Silva year.
Yeah.
And
right.
I just think there's enough wins out there for other players that I can't go that huge. And there's a little fewer events this year.
Okay. Number of wins for the top player in each division. You can set these lines separate if you want. Yeah, so for reference, Gannon had 6, Holland had 5.
Okay, MPO 6.5, FPO 5.5.
I will take the over for MPO and the under for FPO.
Okay. Not easy.
Hard
to say. What's next?
Players with multiple...
Oh, no, wait. I get to...
Oh, this is you. My bad.
Players with multiple major wins from either division. So total number of multiple major win players. I guess, what's the max number? You could have 2 from MPO and you could have 2 from FPO is the max number. So max is 4.
I think the line has to be 1.5. So the question is, do you think Silva and Gannon win multiple majors?
By my picks, I only have one. By my probabilistic odds, I think I take the over on 1.5.
Okay.
I think it's most likely that you get one from each division.
I think that's also most likely. Okay, next one. Highest rated round of the year. And we can do MPO, FPO both if you want, however you want to do that.
I want to, let's do both. 1104.5 for MPO and 1053.5 for FPO.
I'm presuming we're only talking Elite Series and Majors.
Correct.
Give me the under for MPO and the over for over for FPO.
All right.
Yeah.
Highest rated event of the year. Elite Series and Majors only. Event rating.
I'm going to say 1088.5.
Whoa.
Gannon did 1088 this year.
He did.
And
I'm taking the under.
That's too high. No, hold on. That's too high. It's too high.
That was, was looking the highest of all time, I think.
It was. Well, I was looking. It's basically that I think Gannon beats it, but already doing it at Preserve is so hard. We're gonna say 1081.5.
1081.5.
Yep.
Okay. That's not easy, but let's see. I'm doing a little reconnaissance right now on the Statmando page. That has not been done in a long time besides that Gannon 1088.
No, but there were several close rounds with like Calvin at
Gannon was 1080 at Kansas City. Ricky was 1080.7 at Crokel in 24. Yeah. I'm going to count on the field to play great. I'll take the over, but not an easy decision. FPO?
FPO.
The highest ever is 1029 by Owen Scoggins in 2024. For reference.
Yeah, for a 3-round event. Kristen did it in an A tier. Did 1030.
I'm talking major and elite only.
Yeah, major and elite only. Yep. 10. I'm going to say 1020 and a half.
It's a good line. Under. Okay. It's only ever been done 3 times. Mm-hmm. Twice by Page, once by Own at Elite Series Majors. Yeah. The fact that Kristen never even cracked that number tells me a lot.
It does tell you a lot. It's fair.
I hope we see it, but I'm gonna bet against it.
Okay.
Okay, Josh, last one.
Last one. FPO highest player rating of the year.
What does that mean?
So this is at any point during the season. What will be the peak FPO player rating that they achieve?
What's the highest right now? Missy is 989.
Okay.
We're not counting Kristen, right?
Right. No, not counting Kristen.
Okay.
Yeah. Get Kristen's.
Ooh. 991. 990.5.
Oh, give me the over. Missy to go up 1.5 points? Oh yeah. Okay. I'll take that. I'll take that all day. I'll take that all day.
All right. That is it for the show. I'm sure you have some things that you're screaming at your radio or your phone about that we were talking about today. Send us your thoughts. Send us your questions, your comments to upshot@ultiworld.com, and we will take your questions and comments on our mailbag show next Tuesday. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. For Josh Mansfield, I'm Charlie Eisenhood saying so long. We'll see you for the live trivia Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, and that's going to be a blast. So come win some prizes and hang out with everybody. Bye, everybody.